You have a lion, a bear, an alligator, and what's another good? A squirrel. Okay? Which is the squirrel? One doctor said, it's the first time I've ever seen anyone get all questions right. That's a doctor who does this stuff for a living.
That's right. And you can tell he was a doctor because he was dressed like Jesus. Again, a few months ago, I took this test with a doctor. I answered all 30 questions correct. They're easy questions, and I'm a moron, according to him.
I think anybody running for president or vice president should be forced to take a cognitive examination. I mean, you get a guy, he gets in, he's got a good line of crap, he gets in, and all of a sudden you're stuck with a man who's a moron.
I've heard of it happening twice, you know?
You know, basically the only people that are still standing with Trump are the evangelical MAGA Christians. They're the only ones. What is that to say about evangelicals? They're the most gullible people in the world. I don't know how else to say this, folks. The whole rest of the world knows what and who Donald Trump is. These evangelical Christian Zionists still defending him and attacking anybody that doesn't. How ignorant, dumb, stupid. Say whatever you want. I mean, this is gullibility beyond the pale. I mean, what do you say about people like this? Well, we wondered how some of the great despots of history came to power and maintained the support of the people. Well, just look at the evangelical Christians. Here's your answer. The Jews require a sign. So what about all these evangelicals who are always talking about signs? Oh, this is a sign. Oh, the Iran war. This is a sign of the beginning of the Battle of Armageddon. How many times have we heard that over the last 2 weeks? These preachers are just repeating this over and over again. The reason these Christians are looking at signs is because they are Christian Zionists. They have adopted the theology of Zionism, which is sign-oriented. The rabid Zionists in the government of Netanyahu is comprised of radical messianic Zionists who believe that they are fulfilling the prophecies of the Old Testament by slaughtering the innocent men, women, and children in Gaza, and Palestine, and everywhere else in the Middle East. They're going to rebuild the third temple, and their Messiah is going to return. And if they can conquer enough territory, they're going to bring their Messiah. Here's what they refuse to realize. Their Messiah came 2,000 years ago, and they put him on a cross. And these Christians are caught up in the spirit of Zionism, and so they're looking for signs too.
Now, we're told that in the Old Testament that the Hebrew people, the Jewish people, were worshipers of one God. That's never been true, not true now, and never will be true. That's just one more story that's been given to us. It's never been true. They were the most eclectic theology on the face of the earth. Next to modern-day Christianity is Judaism. Eclectic meaning it has collected from all over the world concepts and ideas and put it together and called it today Judaism. Judaism today is the most eclectic religion on the face of the earth. Virtually nothing of what it teaches is true. Virtually nothing of its supposedly background is true. And consequently, the world is filled with violence, bloodshed, or disorder. Good people are dying. There are children who are starving. Our world is in trouble. And people are calling out to God for protection. People are calling out to God to help our nation, and never realizing for one moment that the divine presence in the universe not listening. Why? Because you have your own concepts of whatever you think is true, and whatever you believe to be true, but you have never confronted the real truth.